coming rapid fire, right? But I had who was supposed to be, I think, my first interview, Žiga Drew, an old friend. We met each other in Las Vegas years ago during CryptoCon, World CryptoCon, right? You know, one of my buddies bought some virtual land there. One of the guys I brought with me for $120, and he sold it recently for $70,000 worth of Ethereum.
Wow. Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Definitely different times than like in 2019 when we met in Vegas.
Yeah.
It was like good times, but definitely different times than now. Meanwhile, we had like a completion of the bear market. And as of recently, at least as of last year, we saw a lot of kind of good projects popping up again. And I'm glad to talk about Origin Trail again.
Of course, when I went through the list, I saw him on there and I said, man, let's do a follow-up, let's talk. So tell me a little bit about how Origin Trail has been going and you know, how you guys came through and where you're at right now.
Yeah, so from 2019 when we last met, we spoke about supply chains and how supply chains can be made more transparent, more trustworthy, etc. And right now, Origin Trail is building upon that foundation. So essentially, Origin Trail is the world's first decentralized knowledge graph. And it's a marriage of two technologies. Blockchain, on one side, it's a trust network, and we're using several blockchains. And over a blockchain, we're overlaying knowledge graph technology. And knowledge graph technology is being used by the companies, by companies like Facebook, Amazon, Google, but they're doing it in a Web 2 way. So they're essentially appropriating your data. So we're doing it in a completely democratized way. Origin Trail currently is a network that is being underpinned by over 2,000 nodes globally. And these nodes are like coming into the network in a very permissioned way. Many people, our users, our community also calls the technology Google for Web3 because because we use the same technology, knowledge graphs, and for Google for Web3 because we're doing it in a permissionless way. We're doing it in a self-sovereign way. So anybody participating with the data into decentralized knowledge graph is still holding the ownership over the data. So essentially what Origin Trail does right now, it is organizing world's most important assets, making them discoverable, verifiable, and valuable. We have some of the biggest companies also using Origin Trail, such as Walmart, JCPenney, Disney, Costco, with the help of our partners from the British Standards Institution. They're exchanging auditing reports on some, I think right now, almost 30,000 factories that are importing to the United States. So Origin Trail is being essentially used to cover almost 40% of all the imports to the United States. So we're building upon this foundation, and right now our mission is to bring all the physical assets, your car, whiskey, whatever you own, into the metaverse space. And this is going to be a game changer, because right now metaverse is like, it's a niche, very quickly expanding though, but it's a niche still. So just imagine when we bring all the assets you have, physical, transform them into digital assets, and then build value out of those assets. So this is going to be the next revolution, a revolution that Origin Trail is already starting right now.
Wow, I mean, well, okay, so there's a lot there, guys. So first of all, you dropped some really big brand names there. Talk to me about that. I mean, what do those relationships look like? What do you mean you're working with Walmart? I mean, let's talk about that one.
Yeah, so Origin Trail is a middleware. Anybody can use it without our interference. And the good thing is we have facilitated very important partnership over the last 4 years. One of the most important one is the partnership with the British Standards Institution. And the British Standards Institution works with, for pharmaceuticals, for example, they work with over 90% of all pharmaceutical companies in the world. I think they work with most of the largest importers into the United States as well. And so it's the same goes for the rest of the world. So since 2019, since the launch of their white paper. So essentially have other companies, like legit companies, launching white papers describing how they're going to use Origin Trail. And some of them, like the British Standards Institution, they have gone several steps further and actually deployed solution on Origin Trail. And they have clients and partnerships within the groups like Walmart, JCPenney, like biggest retailers, essentially Costco, for example.
Okay.
And they pushed the solution, which is called Scan Trusted Factory, which is being used by those same companies, underpinned by Origin Trail. And this is kind of the way Origin Trail got into the global adoption playing field, which is very important for us right now, because not only we're developing something which is really beyond state of the art, but it's being validated, it's being used. So it's of the utmost importance for us. It has always been.
Well, it's really cool. I mean, congratulations. You guys are doing fantastic.
Thank
So, then let's also talk about this Metaverse. So we were at Metaverso yesterday. We were broadcasting live from that conference. Metaverse is something, obviously, that everybody. I mean, it's quickly expanding, right?
Right,
It's expanding
yeah.
very quickly. Everybody's talking about it. I think that NFTs is, in a way, hard for still people to get their head around. They're like, at this point, they know NFTs are important. They should probably have some NFTs. They know that NFTs are here to stay. But I feel like the metaverse is something that people, even though it's more abstract, actually, something that people kind of get their head around. They're like, okay, the metaverse exists. It is, kind of a virtual reality realm or however that is. But so talk about how Origin Trail is working with the metaverse to develop these assets that can gain value.
Yeah, right now, at least in the Web3 sense, metaverse is being mostly dominated by the techniques, we call them techniques of NFTs, so non-fungible tokens. And non-fungible tokens are a very, very cool technique because you can create assets that exist in metaverse, but the problem here is that these are like a 42 character strings, which you are essentially making immutable. But the thing is, the underlying asset, which might be your, I don't know, your IP, whatever IP thing that you have created, art, even your physical assets. So all those attributes, which are like a little bit more data heavy, they exist unprotected outside of the metaverse. So what Origin Trail does, it protects longevity of the underlying assets of the NFTs, which is very important. Secondly, it interconnects all the assets that exist in the metaverse. So imagine two connected NFTs sometimes are like more valuable than just like one and one separately. And together they might be like twice as much valuable or three times as much value because you establish a connection. And the good thing is, even once the NFT is created, you can amend certain underlying assets data. And for example, you have a whiskey that's being undersigned by, I don't know, Bono from U2, and this signature can be enshrined into the Origin Trail decentralized network, hence improving the value of the NFT. So this is just one of the ways. Another which we believe is going to completely transform everything is Origin Trail allows you to bring real world assets into metaverse. So your car, your buildings, your whatever, and essentially build a fortune in the expanding metaverse. And Origin Trail currently has all the track record to support that because it's being used by the biggest companies. It's being used to describe physical assets. So already it's here, knocking on the door of metaverse and like promising a huge value to be added on that.
Well, it's totally awesome, man. And you guys have been at it for years. That's really what it takes. You talk to people, how long you've been at it, 3, 4, 5 years. I mean, that's usually how long it takes to build something like that. So what's the website? How do people find you? And where do you guys go from here? What do you predict for 2022?
Yeah, so Origin Trail has been around in a way for 10 years, all the way since inception, since its modest beginnings. You can find Origin Trail at origintrail.io. Join our community in the Telegram. They're all very helpful. Whatever question you have, just pop in there. We have just updated our